Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to day 3 of 21 Days of Presence. So I already recorded a day 3, but I had some technical difficulties at the end and didn't complete. So I thought I would put another one out here just to make sure that energy got completed. So we were talking about today being a powerful day as Jupiter, big player Jupiter, ruler of Scorpio, moving into the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter just got a massive upgrade as it went over the galactic center with Venus, and now moving over this threshold into Capricorn, the official start of the 2020 energies today. Because Saturn and Pluto, we know, come together in January, and hopefully you've been able to catch those videos more about January and leading up to 2020. But what's really going on, what is going to really flavor the Saturn and Pluto conjunction that happens in January is how Jupiter comes into play with both of these planets throughout the year. So Jupiter is a big, expansive energy, and it's like a crystal. It kind of brings a light, it brings amplification, it brings expansion. And even in squares and oppositions, Jupiter, which are the tension aspects in astrology, even in those aspects, Jupiter can bring possibilities, opportunities, and luck, and a wider perspective. You know, Sagittarius energy, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and it's like the wider horizon. It's like standing and looking out beyond our normal everyday way of seeing things. So Jupiter moving into Capricorn is saying, whoa, we got to take a look at this Capricorn energy. It is on the table. And what is Capricorn about? Capricorn is the structures of our world. It is the energies of authority, because it's the structures of our world. So in our physical reality, and as human beings, we're rather vulnerable. We're rather needing to have structure, kind of specific delineations in our experience to be able to function and move forward in this linear experience of time. So Capricorn energy is about all of those things that make our structures of our reality and our physical world. And a lot of this is authority energy, like structures of organizations and our own authority energies within our own being. So all of those structures are up for review with this Saturn and Pluto conjunction. And now Jupiter moving into Capricorn today. Okay, game on. It's happening. And Jupiter is coming into, it's really powerful because as it, moving into making that shift into Capricorn, it stays in a sign for a whole year. So we've had a whole year of Jupiter and Sag, and it's a big shift of energy because Jupiter's one you really feel. And so moving into Capricorn, and then bam, immediately comes into this square with Chiron, still at 1 degree Aries. Chiron will turn direct on the 13th of December. And so these planets, Jupiter will still be a little bit in square with Chiron as it turns direct. It's kind of an energy here. Jupiter's amplifying this Chiron and Aries energy. And in that square, there's this tension and wanting to break free of that tension. The square energy is like coming up against a wall, and then you got to make a turn, right? It's the end of the road, the way you've been going. So Jupiter in square to Chiron is bringing up a very powerful message for us that's been coming through. And this is about traumas and deep pains that are hidden in our subconscious. And what a powerful energy for this Mercury retrograde, when Mercury went into this deep dive into those places. And then when Mercury turned direct, that stuff is like bubbling to the surface. So whatever's deep in your subconscious that keeps creating these old patterns, is up for review, and a lot of this, what's going on for a lot of people is deep trauma patterns that they didn't even know they had. And this is kind of the deal with trauma. You can have something that happened to you that you don't even know, and for years it's latent. And of course, we're talking about past life traumas as well. But we have to shift out of our identification and our experience as humans as trauma creatures, even though that is so much like, if you're human, you definitely have trauma because it's just part of our human experience. But does it need to be? In our new paradigm, right? The other thing that's going on with this message that Jupiter has in square to Chiron is well, just a little bit about Chiron at 1 degree Aries. 1 degree is an initiatory degree. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and Aries is about your permission to be who you really are, yourself, the fight for the self and for existence. And so Chiron at 1 degree Aries is speaking to our deep wounds about not being able to be who we really are and exist on planet Earth, right? So maybe talking about those traumas, about where we were killed or persecuted for trying to bring our light, trying to bring our healing into this experience. And those traumas are in there. So, it's interesting on these days of presence, because one of the things that happens is if there is hidden trauma that hasn't been resolved, trauma is normal, but then when it's not resolved and it's not worked out, that's when it started causes problems. And then you'll find yourself, people who have this unresolved trauma, like most of us, can be in an anxiety state without any reason. And this feeling of not being able to find that presence in the moment because of this distraction, this constant nervous system activation. It's hard to settle in and feel safe in the moment. So it's really great that this is coming up right now, corresponding to our 21 days of presence. And so we can really look at it and be present. It's hard to look at these things. It's hard to feel them. These are energies that are trapped in our body, and it makes us want to run and escape and suppress and do whatever we can do. And yet, if we can be present with these energies and move these energies, we can have a freedom like we've never known or haven't in a long time known. And that's what Aries is about. It's about freedom, fighting for this freedom and this right to be who you really are. And so at 1 degree Aries and Jupiter in square, we're having a massive opportunity for deep healing of these traumas and of these hidden places within our psyche that we all have that have been unresolved. Of course, that means they have to come to the surface. And so it's kind of like, sometimes astrology feels like, oh my gosh, are we going to make it through, right? But sometimes you step far enough back and you see how the universe is lining things up for us. That deep dive in Scorpio, Mercury, and coming up for air now is bubbling these things to the surface so we can move through these energies and we can be set free from these energies. And the message from Jupiter today and from Mother Earth is that there's nothing there. We've all been through so much trauma, and there is incredibly traumatized energies. There's so much persecution that's happened through our history, and persecution of peoples and whole nationalities and things like that. And we've, so much abuse that is happening in our world right now. And yet the message is that there is no trauma so big that it can't be healed. And so it's a very potent and powerful message that whatever it is, it can be healed. And sometimes it feels hopeless, like it can't be healed, and we just have to stuff it back away, and it becomes a part of our identity, right? And that's where we get to this Chiron and Aries thing, where it's like, no, we need a new identity. The new start, the 1 degree initiation and turning direct at 1 degree on the 13th is a new identity. And this new identity is totally corresponds with Neptune just turning direct and about to move into the second part of Pisces and not go back to the first half of Pisces. So we've made it past, almost the first half into the second half of Pisces. And maybe this healing of these traumas that are definitely so associated with the Piscean age of this persecution and past lives and horrible things that have happened on our planet. And yet there's nothing so big that can't be healed, is what Jupiter is telling us. And then the other information coming through around these traumas is that the trauma itself is something that happens as human experience in this physical world. So that's interesting with the Capricorn energy, because Saturn represents our physical manifested reality. And so, of course, the problems that come with our reality. And coming into a physical world, we're going to get banged around, right? And we're gentle, we're these fragile humans, and it feels like this world can be just so traumatic. And yet traumas occur. And yet if there's comfort, if you can find comfort and healing after the trauma, it can erase that trauma. And you don't have to carry that in your identity anymore. And so this is a really cool lining up too with this finishing up the North Node in Cancer and receiving the help and support and connecting in to the healing that's available. So deep, powerful psychic healing available with this Jupiter square Chiron, and a new identity that's not identified with trauma, and to sit in and arrive and move through these energies to be able to receive back that peace and presence in your life. So let's go ahead and feel into it. So just go ahead and feel yourself arrive right here, right now. Just taking a few deep breaths. And just bringing your attention to any area of your body that's holding tension right now. Any area, as we've talked about these traumas, these deep hidden subconscious energies, like, do you feel anything in your body? Where is your attention go when you tap in to feeling your body? Because this is what happens with these trauma energies. They get trapped in our physical body. And so go ahead and just bring your attention to that area of your body. And just imagine that you can breathe in air, light, prana energy of the universe, clean, fresh light into those areas. And recognize that these cells are holding this tension energy. And maybe we can imagine just becoming really small on a quantum level and going into these cells and talking to these cells. So just imagine you're going to sit down and be here present with these cells, with this tension, wherever this trauma energy might be living in your physical body. And just go ahead and have a powwow. Sit right down with these energies and listen to their story for a moment. So much of the trauma we carry is the unidentified victim, feeling like nobody's ever recognized, and you haven't recognized because it's so suppressed and so buried that you were a victim of trauma in the first place. And of course, we don't want to stay in victim. That's part of this moving into this new identity. But when that unacknowledged victim is living in you, it makes it more difficult to clear these energies. And so go ahead and just acknowledge these cells, acknowledge this tension, acknowledge this old story. And part of the deal with these trauma energies is the design behind this trauma programming is to keep us out of present time. It's all about the past and the anxiety coming from trying to prevent traumas in the future. And so go ahead and just be really present with these cells in your body right now. Hear their cry, hear their message, listen to them. What is it they've been through? You don't have to be specific about it, but maybe you will get information or energies, but just listening to their story, their energetic story as it starts to unravel. And go ahead and feel yourself as you do this, how much easier it is to sink in to this now moment, coming into communication with Mother Earth, paying attention to the base of your spine. And on an exhale, just putting down a beautiful root system deep into Mother Earth. Just taking a few deep breaths. Breathing into that area. Sinking into Mother Earth, feeling her presence. This is electromagnetic communication, and Mother Earth is our representation of the divine feminine part of Source and Creator, the nurturing of this world. And so we can tap into Mother Earth and rest in her arms for just a moment and receive her healing and her energies as we allow her to hold us. Sinking in, feeling your whole body just relax and release. And Mother Earth has a present for you today. And this is a beautiful, bright green stone, a healing stone or a healing energy. It's an emerald green color, like the most beautiful, lush places on Mother Earth, how they emanate with this green. It's an energy of forward motion and feeling like you're moving forward on your path. And perhaps that's what these traumas have been kind of keeping you from that true forward motion, pulling you back into that loop of past patterns. And so just receive this green, beautiful emerald energy and imagine this coming from Mother Earth and moving right in your body to those cells that may be carrying that tension. And just imagine that you can move this stone throughout your whole being, all of your bodies, your physical body, emotional body, astral body, all of your astral bodies, energy, emotional bodies from your past lives, and just can be cleansed and healed with this bright green emerald magical stone from Mother Earth, just calming and releasing and relaxing these cells. Go ahead and to imagine that you can hook these cells in your body. Any cells are carrying tension to Mother Earth, just giving them a grounding cord, just connecting them right into your root system and sending that tension down your root system into Mother Earth for her to transform and transmute, and you arriving deeper in communication in this moment. And just receive. Imagining the power of this green energy representing constant regeneration and growth. And Mother Earth says there is healing available. And go ahead and just receive. Sinking as you feel those energies release, just feeling how that allows you to sink deeper into presence of this now moment, right here, right now, arriving back home into this deep green trust of Mother Earth, Gaia, and this experience that we get to have with her together. And she also says that things don't happen, traumas and pain, that it automatically, when that happens, there's a healing response out there available for you when you're ready, and you can receive that. It can come into your life. It's just a law of the universe. And Jupiter in square to Chiron telling us that, yes, there is no trauma too big that can't be healed. And healing, the same amount of healing, if not more, is available the moment that pain occurs. And we have to just find it and receive it and know we're worthy. And so just enjoying this peace with Mother Earth, saying yes to this process, saying yes to the healing, saying yes to being a participant in this beautiful earth experience, stepping into this emerald green energy, feeling it wash through your whole energetic field, washing away any energies that are no longer serving you and flushing down your grounding into the earth. And feel this beautiful energy of protection, this buffer in the world that we can move with, this gift from Mother Earth, reminding us that we're part of a greater whole and we've protected and we're held and we're healing. So just enjoying this peace, this moment with Mother Earth for as long as you would like. And remembering that this is always here for you whenever you have a minute throughout your day. This peace is here. And when you're ready, go ahead and complete your meditation. Well, it looks like we made it through this time. So thanks so much for joining me for day 3 of 21 Days of Presence. We're really getting into it. You can feel the field increasing and easier and easier as we explore this deep healing and this moving into that permission for peace together. So I look forward to seeing you for day 4 of 21 Days of Presence. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.